What's up guys, SaneTree here and welcome back to Ileuad. Last time we built this glorious lighthouse right there, and today we are back to continue the work on the city. There is also very big news, and that is that I've updated the world to 1.14. Finally! I have access to all the new blocks that were added in that update, and maybe, who knows, I will be making a use out of it today. I don't think there is a need to go around and revisit all the buildings we've done. I've in fact done that already, and there weren't really any major changes that I wanted to make, so that's that, I guess. I've also said that we will work on the roads as soon as 1.14 arrives, but we won't do that in this episode. We will probably do that next time, because today I finally want to finish that project. It's been levitating for far too long, let's be honest. And like, looking at the city from this angle, it's clearly an eyesore. Like, this lighthouse is so beautiful and stuff, and this just looks terrible. And it doesn't make sense. So, we will build the terrace today that I talked about. We will also do all the foundations, all the canals underneath, and all the hotel beaches and stuff. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do, so let's cut the talking and start placing some blocks. So that is the shape of the terrace that I've come up with, and I think, honestly, I nailed it first try. Really, this is exactly what the build needs. If we look at it from here, it is breaking up the structure wonderfully, and yeah, it's generally pretty nice. Also, there are, as always, many various colorful lines here, so let me explain what all of that means. This gray terracotta, gray, it's green. Name your colors properly. This green line here marks obviously the outside of the whole thing, and also the kind of most outer columns, most outer supports, because, well, as I said, this has to be properly supported in terms of our, obviously, story we try to tell with this build. Another layer here is the support structure of the terrace itself. As you see, it goes much higher above the river than these arches do, and that is because this structure isn't very heavy. Like, these are the arches. I should probably mention that before I start to explain why these arches are high and these are low. These are the arches supporting the whole building, and as you see, they are much closer to the surface of the river than these ones, and that is because this structure here is a lot less heavy than the building itself. The building is built as closely to the river as it was possible, because it is very heavy and it needs to be supported very well. That is why it has a lot of pillars going down to the bottom. But the terrace itself is just a surface you can walk on, and it doesn't really need much support. That's why these arches are much bigger, and it will give us a nice look inside, so we can see all the supports of the hotel. So yeah, that is why these lines look like they do. On this side, it's the same thing. The only difference is that the hotel itself goes slightly further into the water, so we have additional supports here, but other than that, everything is the same. Also, these pillars here won't stay as they are now. I just was marking where I want them to go. So, I think that's all for now. Let me work on it a little bit more, pick some materials I want to use, because now I only know that I want the terrace to be slabs, and that's basically it. So yeah, let me work on it a little bit more, and I will come back with at least the color palette chosen. If you look from this angle, you could say the terrace is finished, but if you look here, then, well, it's not. But I done a solid version of it. As you see, the whole, like, I don't know, place where you walk on is done. It is nothing too complicated. It is just made of prismarine slabs and stairs, various types of prismarine that I've used throughout the whole build. It also has these three letters right here, S, R and H, and those obviously stand for Silver Rock Hotel, and some additional like details so the surface isn't that flat. But what I want to do now is work on these archways down here. As you see, I've done a portion of them right here on this side. I've chosen to do it with prismarine again. I tried using some stone bricks and stone variations, but it wasn't looking that great. I thought it just doesn't fit here, and I think we will use these blocks here instead. But I want to show you how I go about creating such an archway like that one from a thing like that. So the first thing I do is swap the blocks for the final texture. When that is done, I work on the shape of the arch, because obviously this is just a placeholder. This just is meant to show where about the arch is going to go, but it doesn't actually show the whole shape of it. So that is what we need to do now. I usually first do it with like slabs and only then incorporate some stairs into the whole thing. And also here I just noticed, I think we have to, I don't know what we will do here, because this actually collides with the border. I think we need to move this whole thing back a block. Yeah, I think that's our design right here, and then we will just do something like this on this side. Yeah, that looks good. So let's continue the work on this thing right here. So let's place some slabs and some slabs here, and now we have a pretty nice arch going like this. Now what I want to do is swap this for stairs, maybe like this. I'm not sure. Maybe we will bring this whole thing down by one block, then do something like that and like that. Yeah, I think that looks better, but we need to put some more stairs here, I think. So like that and like that. Then maybe reduce a little bit of that here. No, that is definitely way too bulky for my liking. The placing of this whole thing is kind of like annoying in a way that this is half block too high or too low, and I can't place the stairs, so they like cut this quarter of a block right here. So I think it will have to stay like that, because basically everything else we try doesn't work, unfortunately. But this doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look quite as good as this archway here on this side. But, well, that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, so I tried one more thing, and it might actually be better. Yeah, I think I like it a lot more than this previous thing we had here. It's definitely a lot more archy, I would say. Yeah, this looks nice. This looks very, very nice, and if we do something like this on the other side, this should all hopefully come together very nicely indeed. Yeah, so that is how I create these archways. The last thing I need to do now is just texture it up. So swap some of this type of prismarine to the other type. So let's quickly do some of things like that maybe, I don't know, I just do it as I feel. And yeah, that's basically how I create something like that. And this arch here is done, so let's quickly do these other ones and start the work on the inside part. And that is just typical of me, isn't it? I say that we will start the work on something and the next thing I show you is the finished project. Yeah, a lot has changed since the last clip. I've almost finished the whole thing, except for minor details, but that will come in a moment. First, let me explain what I've done between the takes. So, here we have the whole underside of our terrace done. As I said, these arches are in prismarine, and the foundations of the hotel are done with like a mix of various stone materials, and the closer it is to the water, the more moss it is on those blocks, so that's a cool detail, I guess. Also, as I said, this whole thing is much closer to the surface of the water than these arches here, and when you are here in that place, it gives you this nice feeling that what is above you is really like heavy, and that was exactly what I was going for here. You can also swim by a boat through this river still, so I guess that's pretty cool. But other than that, I don't think there is much to talk about these foundations and the terrace itself. It's all done. I've also completed the whole landscaping around this side of the hotel. Now we have these beautiful custom birches and also some lawns in the style that we did them on the other side of the hotel. I also placed some bushes here and there, and I have no idea what they represent. I guess they're just a piece of foliage that looks nice, and yeah, that's all. The beach is obviously also customly landscaped with all the slabs that I've placed here, and yeah, that's basically all I've done. So it's not really that complicated, but it makes a massive difference, especially when we look at it from afar. Wow, this looks incredible. And it will look even better when I add the last thing in today's episode, so everything that will be on that beach. So various like beds, umbrellas, and maybe a beach bar, who knows. So let me work on that and I can finally show you the whole finished hotel. And there we have it, guys. The Silver Rock Hotel is done, finally, at long last. It took us 3 episodes to complete this project, but I gotta say, it is definitely my favorite one yet. At the beach we have everything I talked about. We have our beds in 2 variations, we have our umbrellas, both bigger and smaller ones, and also, finally, our beach bar with some drinks and beverages you can take on the hot day while chilling on this glorious beach. So yeah, obviously everything is decorated with blue and white, the theme colors for our city and therefore also for the hotel. So yeah, I'm so glad I finally done this project. It took me a long time, but it really is glorious. From this side with the courtyard to the main part of the structure that looks amazing from the sea, to the terrace and the beach. It was really a lot of work, but it was all worth it, even if only for that side. Our city looks better and better with every project. we are doing, and this is only the beginning. This is like the 6th episode. Look how much more we will do here. So if you are excited as much for this as I am, feel free to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss everything we do in Ileuad. And if you liked this episode, then don't forget to leave a like, and also please share the video with your friends to help me out. And remember, there is no such thing as bad creativity. See you next time!